you.
I can't look at you.
Hey everybody, over another episode of the Whiskey Crusaders here at the beautiful Whiskey Castle. Today we got Troy, this beautiful brand that's out there new called Filmland. Look, he brought us cool movie posters. We like movie posters. You guys been to my house, you know, about 5,000 movies over there, so we might enjoy some of these. And these awesome bottles that we're going to talk all about, so very cool. So Troy, I'm going to turn it over to you to tell you how this brand started and get into the nitty-gritty nerdiness of your bottles and everything. So
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you for having me. I really
absolutely, I'm
appreciate it.
excited to have you here.
So we've been on the market now for 3 years.
Okay.
We started in Kentucky and California, home of bourbon and home of the movies. And then we've expanded. We're in Texas now, which is our 19th state.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
But this sort of started from, I've been a bourbon nerd for a long time.
It's a good thing to
love
be.
bourbon, and always said I was going to do my own brand. And one of my partners, Charlie, and he moved from LA to Atlanta, and we kind of started falling in love with bourbon separately together, and started meeting in Kentucky.
Okay.
At least once a year. We called it our pilgrimage to the motherland.
There you go.
And then we would go around to distilleries like crazy people, like 5 or 6 a day, and just fell in love with all of it.
It's called doing a good job.
Yeah, the whiskey, the people, the culture, the cocktails, the art, the science of it. And I just said, one day we got to do our own brand.
Awesome.
And so then you fast forward, and I had this opportunity to do it. So Charlie and I used to be screenwriters like a million years ago. And so we combined our passion for bourbon and movies together to create Filmland Spirits.
Very cool. So what do you do now besides make whiskey? Or this is all you do?
This is all I do.
Perfect.
This is my full-time gig. Founder, CEO, master blender, 17 other titles.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How many employees do you guys have?
Not that many. There's four of us on the core team.
Okay.
Actually, technically 5 of us on the core team, and then our marketing and sales manager also. So there's really just 5 of us. But obviously, we have an extended team through our distributor partners, our broker partners, and all of that.
Okay.
And then our bottling facility is a third party that we work with, so they have a whole team. So
okay. Hey, John, good to see you there. Now, of course, the first question we're going to get is, are you available in Canada?
we are not available in Canada yet.
There's a very large Canadian following, so I always have to ask that.
I was in Canada less than a week ago, but we are not available.
All right. Sorry, Donald. Hopefully, we'll be in Canada sooner than later.
I would love to be.
All right. So what got you into movies?
Well, so Charlie and I used to be screenwriters, and I wanted to be a screenwriter from the time I was a little kid. Awesome. When I was little, and people would say, "What do you want to do?" and everybody said, "I want to be a doctor or a fireman." I would say, "I want to be an author."
Okay.
That's because I loved writing, and I just graduated college. 2 days later, moved out to LA to be a screenwriter, and that's what I did for a little bit.
Wild.
Along with every other job in the entertainment industry
course
there is to do. But I left that behind a long time ago.
Okay.
But when we were starting Filmland, one of the things I used to walk up and down the aisles of the liquor stores, right?
I do. It's fun times.
In the bourbon aisle, and I'm like, why is everything brown and beige with pictures of dogs or birds or old men, right?
Fair.
Why can't we have bright, colorful, immersive labels like craft beer, wine, a lot of tequila, rum, vodka,
sure,
and still have award-winning quality in the bottle? And that was sort of the premise. Before I even knew that it was going to be Filmland, that was the premise.
Okay.
And then, so another friend of mine was helping me get this off the ground, and we were coming up with ideas for the brand. And every time we'd come up with an idea, I was like, oh, that trademark's taken, or, oh, somebody's actually doing this already, or whatever. And we were banging our heads against the wall. And he's a podcast host also. Okay. And so he just started interviewing me. We were just sitting in his backyard. And he started interviewing me like I was on his podcast. And then he stopped me and he goes, look, the passion you're talking about movies and writing with is the same passion you talk about bourbon with. Let's find a way to do them together. And then like Filmland just boom came out of nowhere, like just right then and there. We were like, and I knew immediately I wanted to do B movies. Okay. Because I wanted a playground where we could be silly and fun and do anything. Like I didn't want to box us in and say, oh, it always has to be based on historical dramas, right? It has to be something fun and have this wild playground. And we knew we wanted bright, eye-catching labels, obviously. Okay. And so B movies kind of was the perfect combination for that. And like a moment later, Rise of the Robots came out of my mouth. I was like, which is the name of our rye. Okay. And actually, it was called Rise of the Robot Bartenders originally, which is the story, right? It's a story about robot bartenders taking over the world. And And I'm telling you, for 2 years, I fought for Rise of the Robot Bartenders until finally, when we got the label just perfect, there was just no room for the word bartenders.
Oh.
So it got cut and it became Rise of the Robots, which is perfectly fine because that's what it was meant to be.
Sure. All right. Well, since we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about your first one here.
Absolutely.
Because so what exactly is Moonlight Mayhem?
So Moonlight Mayhem, a saga of werewolves and bourbon, is our double gold medal winning 94 proof bourbon.
Okay.
It's a 75-21 mash bill.
Okay.
And this was one of our first 3 products we put out on the market 3 years ago.
Very nice. So what I like about you guys, so if you have all these cool things, I assume the actors in the B films on the back here.
Right. So what we do is we actually start by creating an original script for every one of our products.
That's awesome.
And then we create this kind of work of art that becomes the poster, which becomes the label.
Okay.
Right. And the label includes a synopsis of the movie, the characters, their headshots and bios. There's a QR code down here that if you scan that, it takes you to our website. You can watch a trailer for the movie, interact with storyboards, read script pages, and download the movie poster. The other side of the label is all about the award-winning liquid that's in the bottle. So this is who we are. Here's tasting notes. And then in this credit section here is as much transparency as we can possibly put. So not just where it's bottled, where it's distilled. We got the mash bill all the way down to the char of the barrel in which it's aged.
Nice. On there. I do appreciate that. Transparency is always nice. Which people do not do that. I love it. It's at 21 plus, so it's awesome. Everything, and you got to show them to your cap and stuff. You get the open ones, Bridget, just so we can show people the.
So everything about our bottle, we think through in a lot of detail. So the bottle is designed in an Art Deco style, the way like old movie theaters were. Right. So we always think of our bottles like that really elegant proscenium. And then the star of the show, the liquid in our label, is surrounded by it. Right. And so the bottle has our closure, which is a combination of a film can and a film reel.
Okay.
And then at the bottom here is like meant to evoke cells of film, like the original movie with the horse running in a circle. It's sort of meant to evoke that kind of thing.
Okay, that's cool.
So you can see there.
Very cool. I do love attention to detail and super nerdy crap like that because it's fun. It's my favorite. All right.
So Moonlight Mayhem won a double gold medal at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, one of the largest, oldest, most prestigious competitions, right? And what I love about it too is I've met a lot of the judges from that because they're also journalists. And I'm like, look, people always say you can buy these medals, you just got to enter. And they were like, no, sure, there are competitions like that. Not this one. I mean, you have to have at least 5 judges all agree that you're gold to get a gold. And you have to have all 7 who taste your product blindly agree that you're gold to get a double gold. Nice. And it's something like 6% get it out of 5,000 spirits that get submitted. So, it means a lot. And everything we've put on the market has won gold or double gold.
Perfect. Yeah. There you go. Now, I assume this is all from a place in Indiana, or most of this is Kentucky.
Absolutely. We're transparent about it's right on the bottom. So our core 4 products are MGP juice. Right. And then myself, my partner, Charlie Flynn, and our other partner, Steve Canepa, we're the blending team.
Okay, so you guys blend. Okay.
So we go out, we source every barrel, we taste every barrel we own at least once a year. We have an entire database of notes about every barrel.
Nice. We
designed our flavor profile, and then when we blend, very small batch, so 7 to 10 barrels are our batches, and we've just got at this point we can taste a barrel and we know exactly where it's going to fit.
Interesting.
But then we have limited releases, which we'll talk about some of them that we put out once or twice a year, and those could be MGP, those could be other stuff. They come from all over the country.
Now, you guys have your own warehouse you guys are aging at, or you guys just leave it at MGP and then go grab it when you want?
It's a combination. So everything we do, we bring into Kentucky to age. So we age, blend, and bottle in Kentucky. So it may start in an MGP warehouse in Kansas or Indiana, or it starts in their Kentucky warehouses. But then we bring it to our bottling facility where it sits and ages for at least a couple of years, if not longer.
Okay. Where do you guys do that in Kentucky? You allowed to say where that's at in Kentucky?
In Frankfurt.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not at Buffalo Trace.
I didn't figure it was.
As far as I know, they don't do contract bottling.
Yeah, they're busy with their own bullshit.
Yeah. We work with a fantastic, I guess I'm allowed to talk about it. It's not a secret, but so the folks that were behind Angel's Envy,
Oh, okay.
the
Very cool.
Hendersons.
Yeah, yeah.
So they have a new brand, and they built a
Yes.
bottling facility in Frankfurt. Their new brand is True Story.
Right.
And they built a bottling facility in Frankfurt, and we connected with them.
Oh, okay. That's
And
cool.
we have a lot of behind the scenes people in common.
Sure.
And so it's been a great relationship, and they are absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
So that's
very
where
cool.
that's where we do have our storage. Our barrels are stored, and where we
Nice.
do our bottling.
So how many barrels do you guys currently have laid down that you guys are hanging out with?
I would have to go look in our inventory system, but it probably off the top of my head, we always have anywhere from 400 to 600.
Okay, so you had quite a bit of barrels. Okay,
Yeah,
sitting around.
yeah.
All right.
So I mean, some of our oldest stuff is getting up to 8 years. In
Oh,
terms
nice.
of, our oldest MGP stuff.
Sure,
we have other stuff that's at like 12 years and older.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. So speaking of age, how old is this approximately?
All right, so everything we put in a bottle will always be 4 years old.
Okay.
We don't age state for the most part, except if it's part of a special release.
Sure.
And that's more of a practical thing than anything, because
Right.
we'll tell you all day long exactly how old everything is. It's because we don't handwrite for the most part on our labels. And so if we had an age statement on here, we would like run out of labels.
Right.
So
I mean, total pain in the
it becomes
ass, yeah.
logistically very difficult.
Yeah, makes total sense.
So what's in our current batches of Moonlight Mayhem and our Rise of the Robots are going to be anywhere from 5 to 7 years old.
Okay. Very cool. So the real question is, what's your favorite? Oh, we'll get there. You'll tell us when we get there.
No, I always say it's like asking me which one of my kids is my
Yeah,
favorite,
yeah, yeah.
right? I have one, I just can't say.
There you
Right.
go.
So, but whichever one I'm with at that moment is my favorite.
There you
right?
go. There you go.
But I'm a very "what have I done for me lately" kind
Sure,
of
sure,
person.
sure,
So our latest tends to be my favorite. So I'll show you.
That's fair.
Our 2 limited editions are our latest, and my favorite. But
All right.
I love. I know this is easy to say, but I love everything we put in the bottle, because I wouldn't put it in a bottle and I wouldn't put my name on it. My name and my partner's names, all our blending team are on this label,
Okay.
and we're not putting our names on it.
I don't blame
We're
you.
Super proud of it and love it.
Seems like a good choice. All right. So why Moonlight Mayhem? What inspired this?
We knew we wanted to do a story that was based in the 1950s, because all of
Okay.
our stories are kind of like, and we're expanding a little bit, but they were all targeted to be like 1940s to
Which makes
1960s,
sense. Okay.
right? So we knew we wanted to do something in the 50s that was very American graffiti, with the
Okay.
Wild Ones, that kind of thing, but we wanted it to be more outrageous. Right? And we looked at different monsters and which monsters, and we decided it's got to be werewolves for our first one. And so Moonlight Mayhem is a story that takes place in a world where the dominant species on the planet are werewolves.
Oh,
And all the humans have kind of been tucked off into their own neighborhoods and have to stay separate.
okay.
And our hero, who's on the bottle right here, Tommy, he's a human busboy at the dive bar where all the werewolves hang out on Hollywood
That's
Boulevard,
awesome.
called The Den.
Oh, that's
And he
too
goes
funny.
into work one night, and he sees this beautiful woman, also on the bottle, Sylvain, sitting at the bar.
Okay.
And they eyes meet, instantly in love with each other.
Yeah.
The problem is she turns out to be the sister of the leader of the pack of the werewolves.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so now she has to decide whether she wants to marry him or have him for lunch.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
so it becomes a whole sort of Romeo and Juliet with fangs meets The Graduate meets American Graffiti kind of story. It's a
All
very
right.
Hollywood thing to describe
That's-
a movie that way.
That's too funny.
And they, of course, we see what happens as the story goes on.
So will these be like a continuing series to keep the progression of the film going on? Or is there at some point that make like a short film of these actually at some
Man,
point?
you're jumping ahead.
Oh, okay.
No,
Well, it seems like really cool ideas. So
We do have a sequel to Moonlight Mayhem, which we're going to talk about
Very cool.
in a few minutes.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's just my question.
Yeah, but that is the idea, yes, to continue
Oh,
the stories
very
and
cool.
do sequels and all that kind of thing.
I like it. Hey, Jason, it's good to see you there. All right. So you want to move on to, I guess, the
Yeah.
next one of these?
Yep. Sure. So now Moonlight Mayhem, we also have Moonlight Mayhem Extended Cut.
Ah, all right.
So that's, let's see if we're showing the poster.
Beautiful.
That's that poster.
Cool.
So extended cut is our trademark term for cast strength. So a movie
Okay.
gets the
Yeah.
extended cut treatment,
Right,
has more
right,
scenes.
yeah.
Our extended cut has more proof.
Okay. Cool.
So Moonlight Mayhem Extended Cut, one of our first original 3 products also.
Okay.
Varies in proof by batch because it is cast strength.
Okay.
This particular one we have here is probably about 100. This one's 117.4.
Okay. All right.
And so Moonlight Mayhem Extended Cut, gold medal at San Francisco.
Okay.
Whiskey Advocate in the winter edition. I think it was 2 winter editions ago, rated 150 bourbons, gave
Okay.
it a score of 93,
Nice.
which tied it for best bourbon out of all 150 in that edition.
Oh, sweet.
And then you know who Peggy No Stevens is, I assume, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So
Absolutely.
for you viewers who might not know, she's got that No last name like Booker No and Freddie No. Cousins of the
Absolutely.
Bean family. Very well respected whiskey taster and reviewer.
To say the least, yes.
Founded Women in Bourbon. I hadn't met her at the time, but she called me up.
Oh, very cool.
And she says, "This Filmland? Is this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Filmland." She's like, "Well, I wanted you to know I rated your Moonlight Mayhem extended cut for American Whiskey Magazine. I gave it a 9.1." And I said, "Oh, okay." And she goes, "No, I don't do that." And then I went and researched and found the last thing she gave a score like that to ended up winning Whiskey of the Year that year. So I've since met her.
Okay, very cool.
Several times now, and told her that story, which she very much appreciated.
That's very cool.
But still, this gets incredibly high scores everywhere.
I do love high proof, so that is always delicious. All right, so extended cut meaning a higher, like so, your cast strength essentially. No, for the movie itself, what's the extra setting? What's the extended cut part about it?
The extended cut is just it's got the ideas, there's more scenes and a little bit more to it. Yeah,
It's like like an actual.
Like when you go online, it's a different trailer.
Okay.
Different script pages. For it.
Cool.
And then different storyboards.
Okay.
And of course the poster is different. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the purple on it. That's cool.
Yeah. People often refer to our bottles by the color they are, so this is definitely referred to as the purple one.
The purple one. That's awesome. All right. Now, so is everything on here just a little more in depth and detail as far as your actors go, or is that all going to be the same?
That's going to be the same.
That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Right. And then just to clarify, those aren't actors; those are fictional people we have drawn. Right.
I realize
those are the characters in the story. Some people think they're real people, right? So I'm just clarifying that they are fictional.
Look them up. That's
We've made them all up, both their names, their likenesses, and
Okay.
Their actual what they look like. They're drawn from scratch.
I do like Donald's comment. He eats him for lunch in an Alfa Romero. There you go. That would be funny. So, do you prefer cast strength, or do you prefer the lower proof, or it depends on the day?
Cast strength.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The correct.
So this is how we went about it. When we made Moonlight Mayhem 94 proof, the first thing we tasted. We said, we want to make something that we love, but we know that our labels are probably going to attract some newer drinkers. To bourbon, right? Sure. So we wanted to make, which it has, but we wanted to make something that was complex enough for seasoned bourbon lovers, but also, not something that was going to turn people off if they're new to bourbon. Something really accessible, leaning into the corn sweetness a little bit more.
Sure.
Some of the fruitier, like cherry notes and flavors, that kind of thing. So that was Moonlight Mayhem. Then we said, okay, now we're going to make Moonlight Mayhem extended cut for people like us, for people like us who love cast strength.
All right.
And so that was how the flavor profile of this was designed.
All right. Very cool.
And one of the things we hear all the time is that, I've tasted thousands and thousands of people on this, and we hear very consistently, wow, that's cast strength. Like, wait a minute, which one was the cast strength? Which one was the 94? Because our cast strengths, the way we blend it, tend to drink very flavor forward, but alcohol is a little bit in the back. And so people go, wait a minute, that can't be 117 proof.
All right, I've got our friends from Australia in here now. So is it available in Australia?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Sorry,
far
Chris,
we're
not
only
yet.
in the U.S. Yeah, we're working on it.
That's right. Could make it happen, though. All right, that's very good. I like that. It's good stuff. Like I said, like the purple. So now, do you sell these posters, or these are just props? Or
these are our 12 by 18 kind of cardstock ones.
Okay.
We use these. We actually give them away at tastings
nice.
and things like that.
Awesome.
On our website, we do sell the full 24 by 36 movie poster.
Very cool.
Ones. They are available for everything that we make.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, I like that everything's like super detailed and it just looks really, really cool.
We try and make them really accessible too. So I think a pack of like 5 of them is $20 or $25.
Oh, so it's super reasonable.
Yeah,
Okay,
we want people to have them. We just got to cover our costs.
Yeah, of course. So who is the artist for all these?
So the way it works is I will come up with an idea for a product and a story, and then I will mock up versions of a poster.
Okay.
And I'll use found art, or I'll sketch some stuff, or whatever it is. And I'll go into Photoshop and spend way too much time. And I'll come to my team with like 30 versions.
Oh, jeez.
And we will go through them, and then we'll narrow it down to a few, and then I'll do revisions, and we'll just keep narrowing down until marketing has had their say and sales, and and then I'll overrule everybody anyway. And then come down to that final version when it's all tweaked and we like it, then I'll bring an artist in and have them redraw the whole thing from scratch.
Wow.
That kind of thing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Full moon proof.
It's hysterical.
We're trying to be a little bit clever that way sometimes.
That's too funny. Yeah, everything's just really cool. It's like all the detail. Too much nerdy stuff for me here. Yeah. So
now, what we don't talk about that often is every poster has Easter eggs on it.
Oh, very nice. I'm gonna look at the poster.
When we run out of labels
detail,
and we have to print more, we mix up like what's on there. We change it.
That's cool.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So this is what you're looking at as first generation. So it probably has the fewest Easter eggs.
Okay.
Because we've added them as we go. But one thing that's on every single bottle is a picture of that bottle.
Okay.
And so if you think about it, that's impossible to do because how do you put a picture of a finished bottle on the bottle if it's not finished?
Right.
It's like a mirror and a mirror and a mirror kind of thing. Yeah. But it's there. We've somehow managed to do it. So
that's cool.
Some of the posters, it's really obvious where the bottle is, right? Obviously. And some of them, it's really not obvious. Yeah.
Okay. I gotta look at the other one now just for shits and giggles at this point. Just because it's cool. So you can see something in that. So it's similar.
Yeah, those two are similar because they're
the first
generation
ones,
posters, But the newer labels, which are probably on some of these bottles, have all kinds.
So when you came up with this concept, how long? How many hours or days or months did it take you to come up with this whole Moonlight Mayhem, the story?
Well, the story. What happens? We spent with that friend of mine. I think we spent 3 or 4 months researching.
Okay.
And then when we came up with that Filmland concept, we didn't have the name Moonlight Mayhem right away. We had Rise of the Robots. So as soon as we came up with it, I just went home and wrote it.
Oh, okay.
I wrote what's called a treatment in
in
Hollywood terms. That's like a 4 to 10 page like written version of the story. Like it's not dialogue and script format. It's just, this is what happens. This is what happens. This is what happens kind of thing. And I wrote that for Rise of the Robots.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, let me write it for someone else. And then I wrote without a title. I wrote it for Moonlight Mayhem.
Okay.
And so I had the whole story for that as well as a couple of others. And then I spent about 6 weeks writing a business plan.
Okay.
Then I started raising money.
Okay.
And a couple of weeks later, we incorporated. This was March of 2021.
Okay. Yeah. Then, great time to start.
Right. And then spent the next year developing our first labels and the bottle design and all of that, and launched in September of 2022.
Okay. So obviously, you sell movie stuff. So who decided to come up with all this cool, just super geeky, nerdy stuff on there?
So the bottle itself, we worked with a firm that designed the bottle.
Okay.
We're not glass engineers or anything.
Okay.
And they actually designed the bottle to, our direction was, look, we know our posters are going to be out there and they're going to be crazy.
Sure.
We want a bottle that represents our serious side because one of our taglines is serious whiskey, serious fun.
Okay.
So kind of a combination of the two. So we wanted a bottle to represent the serious whiskey side of it so that the label could represent the serious fun. So they designed that very, Art Deco, elegant.
Yeah, because the bottle is really cool. Yeah. And even you guys' logo is really freaking awesome. Yeah, it reminds me of like some Great Gatsby stuff that looks really freaking cool.
Yeah, that was the idea, is to go Art Deco on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, where should we go next?
Well, now we can get to our sequel.
All right.
So it's just right here.
Sequel.
Moonlight Mayhem 2.
Okay.
The White Port Wolf.
Okay, that's awesome.
So.
That's too funny.
Here's the bottle.
Okay.
So that's Moonlight Mayhem 2, the White Port Wolf. So what we did is we took our double gold medal winning Moonlight Mayhem 94 proof bourbon. We aged it for 7 years, then finished it in white port wine casks from Napa Valley.
This should be fun.
Right.
And I've had this one before.
Yeah, this is.
I do love port.
Super different. Most brands are finished in a darker red port or tawny port or something like that. We decided to do white port. And so this is our first finished bourbon.
Okay.
And it's our first sequel.
Okay.
And about 3 or 4 weeks ago, this won a double gold at the TAG Global Spirits.
Nice. All right. So tell me about the lady who looks she's about to rip someone's face off.
Right. So what happens is our heroes from Moonlight Mayhem, Tommy and Sylvain, they flee the pack and Sylvain's brother, Slate. And they flee up the coast of California and find themselves in a disused vineyard in Napa Valley.
Okay.
Where they think they're safe until they encounter the mythical, legendary, fearsome white port wolf.
Okay.
And have to determine, and then the pack shows up, and now it
Okay.
becomes who's going to side with who, the enemy of my enemy kind of thing,
All
and the
right.
story goes from there until they find out a secret about the white port wolf
All right.
that changes everything.
And there's going to be another sequel for that.
There could be.
It could be.
You never
All right.
know. Moonlight Mayhem 3. You never know. But what we started to do with newer labels is hide some of the characters from our other products on the label.
Okay.
So there's different things going on.
Very cool.
Now, the first two products we talk about, Moonlight Mayhem and Moonlight Mayhem Extended Cut, are part of our core product, always available.
Okay.
Moonlight Mayhem 2, the White Port Wolf, limited edition.
No edition. Okay.
So made maybe 700 or so 6-packs of this.
Okay.
And so at the time we planned it and planned that quantity, we were in about 11 states. Now we're in 19.
Oh,
And
already
so
then.
it is moving very fast.
So this is still available to buy.
It's still available.
Okay. That's the first question we're going to want.
It's still available. It's available here in Texas as of
Okay.
now, and it's available in all our other states as well as online.
Okay. Very cool. So also, we want to know what's like price point on these on the bottles too. That's what we're going to ask.
Sure, and I can only speak to MSRP.
Right. Of course.
In this industry, we're not allowed to tell people.
Right.
But Moonlight Mayhem $54.99. Moonlight Mayhem Extended Cut $79.99.
Okay.
And Moonlight Mayhem 2, the White Port Wolf, $64.99.
Okay. Cool.
So, and then look, we're depending on what state you're in, there's rebate programs going all the time. Our website constantly has coupon codes and things like that. So
awesome.
That's just a starting point, but there's always ways to save a little bit on it.
Absolutely. Hey, Birdman, good to see you there. All right. This is I really like this poster. This is really freaking cool.
Yeah, so you can see some of the characters from Moonlight Mayhem
Oh,
are back there running the
back in
vineyard.
there.
So there's
It's cool.
Slate, her brother, and then there's the woman who was the victim from Moonlight Mayhem on the poster.
Nice.
The woman in the green dress.
Okay.
She's over
That's
there on
cool.
the left.
All right.
And then there's another character hidden on here from a product we're about to talk about.
Okay.
So you won't recognize him until
Very
you see
cool.
that.
This is wild.
Yeah, but we're super proud of this because it was a risk for us. We hadn't done a finished product before. And, you take very expensive bourbon barrels of bourbon, dump them in these wine casks, right? We like the wine that originally was aged in them, and you hope for the best. And you taste it every few weeks, every few months. And we took a risk. And what I always tell people about this one is, so we put them in and we tasted it a few times, and we tasted it at 3 months.
Okay.
And we're like, wow, this is good.
Okay.
And we're like, well, if it's this good at 3 months, let's leave it a little bit longer. And we tasted it again at 6 months.
Okay.
And we're like, oh, crap. It's not as good.
Oh, no.
And we're like, can we go back in time? What do we do? Right. And then I just made the executive decision. I'm like, leave it in there longer.
Okay.
Right. Let's see what happens. Because you could be, tossing out tens of thousands of dollars of bourbon if it doesn't work. And we tasted it again just before 9 months. And it was the best it had been. And that's what went into the
perfect.
We were like, whew.
Yeah, because you just never know. It's like you tell people, it's like there's the magic of whiskey that there's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes it just works out great.
Right. And where it was, because it was aged in two different, it was aged in multiple warehouses, but it was finished in multiple warehouses too. It started finishing in one warehouse in a different part of Kentucky. Then we moved the barrels to where we bottle now. So there was a lot of, and we tasted it in between.
Yeah,
and
see
all
what
of
happened.
that, we were super excited the way it came out. And this has been like online anyway, 5-1 outselling everything else.
I don't doubt it.
It's been so popular.
Well, there's that, and there's so few white port finish, let alone a bourbon finish in the port is almost impossible to find, except for a couple of major brands.
Yep.
So that's really good.
The other thing that's cool about this artwork in this poster is, so all of our other labels, I brought in artists who are sort of more modern, and so they draw and they paint digitally, right? So they're still doing it by hand, but they're doing it on a computer, or a tablet or whatever.
Okay.
For this one, we met an artist named Anton Kimball, based in Portland, who was doing movie posters in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, that's cool.
And so wonderful gentleman. In his 70s now, but a brilliant artist. And he painted this by hand with paint on canvas.
That's cool as
so
shit.
Each element, the White Port Wolf, the car, Tommy and Sylvain, the background, the moon, everything painted completely separately. It didn't see a computer until it was all scanned in and then reassembled it into the finished poster. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's my favorite poster so far. That's really freaking cool. I like that a lot. That's fun. Yes, Chris, you spend lots of time at the castle. This is true. It happens, especially when you come from Australia. So, All right, so that's awesome. All right, so where are we going to?
Okay.
What movie are we going to next?
Now we're going to go on to Quadraforce.
Okay.
So Quadraforce,
Quadraforce.
I very
Right.
arrogantly say, is the most unique bourbon
Okay.
you've ever had and you will ever have, because we
Okay.
can't make it again.
Okay.
Right? So we made it by blending 4 bourbons originally distilled
Okay.
in 4 different states.
Oh.
And the
All
result
right.
ends up being a 4-grain wheated bourbon,
Okay.
right? Because of the mash bills.
Okay.
Then we took that singular liquid, and
Okay.
here, I'll grab the poster for
All
it,
right.
and we put it into bottles with 4 different labels on it.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
Each label features one of the 4 Quadraforce
You never
heroes,
know who you're gonna. Okay.
and
Very
each
cool.
one of the heroes represents one of the 4 states of distillation. So we have Kentuckiana, the Louisville edition,
Okay.
Cali Comet, the Los Angeles edition,
Okay.
Tennessee Terra, the Nashville edition, and Mr. Misteron representing the 4th state, the mystery state of distillation.
Okay.
So this bottle has Kentuckiana on it.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then we have here a Mr. Misteron bottle
Very
also.
cool.
And so in the spring of this year,
Okay.
I'm sounding like a broken record, but this won a gold medal at San Francisco. And in the June, July issue of Wine Enthusiast this summer, they gave this a score of 95, which
Nice.
for them, they don't usually give whiskey scores that high.
Right.
And so we were very excited and very proud of that. So we made this is a special version of the label that is not
Okay.
available in any of the bottles. It's
Oh,
only
okay.
for the poster.
Just the poster.
Because
okay.
we didn't want to make people have to get 4 different posters.
Sure.
So we made one that featured all of the
Okay.
characters, but each of the labels is different.
So they can collect all the bottles, though.
And these labels, more than any of our others, are filled with Easter eggs. It's 5 or 6 on every single label. Plus, every character is on every label.
Oh,
So
that's
while you
cool.
got the featured character of
Mhm.
Kentuckiana, Cali Comet's on here, Mr. Misteron's on here, Tennessee Terra, they're
Very
all over the
cool.
label. But there are characters from all over our products on these.
That's cool.
And then on the credit section here, we have 3 of the 4 mash bills.
Okay.
Right. So what happens is sometimes we get barrels from a
Mhm.
supplier, and contractually we can't say who or where. Sometimes we can't even say the mash bill because it gives it away. Things like
Sure,
that.
sure.
So when that happened with this, the 4th one, they're like, we love the liquid. And I'm like, yeah, but you can't talk about it.
Oh, jeez.
Like, all right, well, why don't we lean into that and make it fun?
Okay.
So we made the 4th character, Mr. Misteron. Everything about him is a mystery. His true identity, even his powers. He doesn't know what's going to happen next time.
He doesn't know what's gonna happen.
Right. So he's the only one wearing a mask, right? So
That's too
we
funny.
made everything about him a mystery, including his state of distillation.
Okay. All right. So what are the superpowers of these 3?
Oh gosh. So Tennessee Terra can control the earth,
Okay.
right? Cali Comet can fly and shoot fire from his hands
Cool.
like a comet,
All right.
and Kentuckiana can control light, beams
Okay.
of light and waves of light, and has all these light swords and all those kind
Very
of things.
cool.
And they all, for some reason, seem to be able to fly or levitate just because
Yeah.
that's cool.
Absolutely. Seemed like it's silly if they couldn't, right?
Right, exactly. Except him, we don't know. Sometimes he's on a magic hoverboard.
Okay.
Sometimes he's doing karate on top of cars. I don't know what he does, but those things are all on the labels.
That's cool. Yeah, it reminds me like an old school Superman.
Yes,
concept,
that's
yeah.
exactly what the idea is. So it takes place in an alternate America
Okay.
in the 1940s, where
Okay.
World War II is being fought on American soil.
Oh, shoot.
And these are 4 ordinary people who
Okay.
get caught up in a nuclear blast
Okay.
and all get their powers. And now they have to figure out how to blend together
Okay.
to become a team of heroes to save the world.
Oh, all right. That's cool. Wild. See, the problem is I'm going to make these movies because these movies sound super interesting.
This is one of my favorite trailers because we went all out on this trailer.
I'm going to have to go check these
we
trailers
we
out.
made it like an old newsreel that you would see in
Yeah.
the movies.
Oh, yeah,
before
yeah.
this.
Like Turner of War. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Very cool.
And we got a guy to do the voiceover who sounds just like those voices.
That's cool
Yeah.
as shit.
So it's really one of my favorites.
That's really, really cool. Yeah, you combine 2 of my favorite things, movies and whiskey, I'm like, you really can't go wrong.
Yeah. And then when we put out Quadraforce, we had an odd number of products at the time.
Okay.
So, and we make all these posters double-sided.
Yeah.
So we decided I created this poster, which we call the Filmland poster, which has characters from all of our
that's
stories
cool.
on it.
That's really cool.
And then myself and my team are all hidden in here as well. We're not hidden that much, but we're here.
That's cool.
Right.
That's very
So-
cool.
Yeah, this is the only poster you can't actually buy or download. not now anyway.
Okay.
One day, but we do give them out when you come and meet me at Tasting.
That's cool. Now, you want to do more tastings tomorrow around the Metroplex?
Yeah, not tomorrow, I think, but Thursday. We're going to
Okay.
be in a couple of Specs locations
Okay.
in the Dallas area.
Just in case somebody wants to come out and meet you,
Yeah.
if they happen to see this.
Absolutely. The
next day or two.
schedule is on our website. Go to
Okay,
filmlandspirits.com, click on events, or just go to filmlandspirits.com/events.
Okay.
And everywhere we're going to be around the country, whether I'll be there or one of my partners will be there, or whether it's just, a tasting, that kind of thing.
Awesome. Then you guys are at the Algiers Club tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night
too?
we'll be at the Algiers Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very excited for that.
There we go. Specs and McKinney from 2 to 5. So if somebody wants to play hooky from work for an hour or two, it's a good choice.
And we'll also be at another Specs location from 5 to 8.
Okay.
And I'll be there from about 5 to 7 because I got to run to the airport.
Well, the airplane doesn't wait. They just want to go.
I try. I say, do you know who I am? But they don't. So
They don't. All right, then the Specs, number 150, the big one. All right, cool. Well, that's fun. All right, so that's 4 different. So now the question is, can you figure out the state? That's going to always be the question.
yeah, people guess at that all the time, and I say, look, I can't tell you. The only clue I give is it's a state whose name ends in the letter A,
Okay.
and it's not Indiana. There's no
Right.
MGP juice in Quadra Force.
Interesting.
So that I think there's like 13 or 14 states.
Right. So it's like that's very helpful.
Yes, exactly.
Now I assume it's from a well-known that won't give you their name type deal, or allow you to tell them.
Yeah, I'm not saying. So, I don't want to get in trouble.
Oh no, it's so funny to me about in Scotland for the most part they're pretty cool with you can tell where it stuff's from. Occasionally they'll let you. For the most part they will, but in America we're like, oh, don't tell where that shit came from.
Yeah, because I think for them, they don't want people to know that they let other people buy their whiskey because their brand is sacred.
Sure.
And they think everything they make goes into that brand.
Right, and then it's kind of like, he kind of goes to almost every distillery you go. It's just like, by the way, don't tell them about this other room. We sell this shit off.
Right.
It's funny. We're at one distillery here in Texas like that. I was like, oh, interesting. Didn't know that you can't tell a soul that this shit happens here. I'm like, okay.
I mean, in a way, the flexibility that we get because I taste bourbons and rye from all over the country, any distillery, so we can happen upon a gem,
Sure,
right? That we didn't happen to distill, but we found it and then can put it in a bottle or blend it into a product like this. So that's what happened. Is we went hunting for over a year at distilleries at a whole bunch of different states until we found stuff we loved that we also then did test blends with to make sure that it was going to work well.
Okay.
But this Quadra Force was a giant risk for us also.
Sure.
Because, things you do in a lab and, tell us it's great, but now you do it at scale and it's going to change.
Sure.
Right. So there's a tremendous amount of risk in that.
So when you blend together, how long is the marrying process to take the four together?
Usually 24 to 48 hours.
Oh, so it's pretty quick.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. Because we're in tanks with propellers or impellers, and
okay, so it's not in it's a tank,
right? And we blend in multiple tanks sometimes, and they have circulation systems between them, so it's just constantly mixing and that kind of thing.
So like, when you make this, like how many gallons go into approximately?
Now you're going to make me do math. But
sorry,
it's about 350 to 400 minimum when we're doing a 7 barrel. The biggest batch we've ever done was Quadra Force.
Okay.
Right.
I imagine it has to be. Yeah.
Because we had to blend all 4 together in the same proportion. So off the top of my head, I think that was 24 barrels.
Okay.
Right. And this is not gone, but almost gone.
Almost
gone. It's
a
limited edition. Yeah. There's enough for Texas and for the states that it's in, but some states are out.
It's out. Okay.
Yeah. But it's still available online. As well. Okay. But most of our batches are 7 to 10 barrels. Occasionally we'll do a 12 or 14 because it just kind of works out that way. Sure.
Now, somebody, if it's not available in their state, they can buy it and it's available to ship online.
Yeah, you can go to filmlandspirits.com and it's on our website, but of course we don't run it.
Right. Obviously, it just goes through it.
Right.
Yeah,
so, but they ship to 45 states, I believe.
Okay, so there's a good chance you get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Hawaii, Michigan, South Dakota, Tennessee.
Find a friend and
give them to you.
But
we're in Michigan. So you can go
There you
to
go.
stores and buy it in Michigan.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Where should we go next?
Now we're moving on to our rye.
All right. I do love rye.
So our first rye is called Rise of the Robots. Serve the
Okay.
drink, save the world.
This is the one, that I'm very excited about.
So this is our 94 proof gold medal winning rye. And this is a 95.5 mash bill.
Okay.
And I'm going to show the label and I'll show the poster, but I'm going to let you taste it because I'm not going to tell you what we think you should taste until you taste it.
Okay.
Right? And then the poster.
Yeah, I'm going to see this robot.
It's on the back of this one.
There we go.
So that's Rise of the Robots. Serve the drink, save the world.
That is very funny.
Rise of the Robots takes place in a future
Okay.
where technology has been outlawed. And a fallen technology titan builds an army of robotic bartenders to take over the world. And our heroine, Courtney, is a bartender turned action hero who has to save the world.
Okay. Awesome. I love the jigger. That's freaking awesome there. She got a shaker.
So the bottle of Rise of the Robots is very hidden on this poster. It takes a while.
All right.
And watch, you're going to find it in like 2 seconds.
Got a blast.
I need reading glasses to find it.
Oh, so it's tiny.
But that's a comment on my age, not anything else. But it is small.
This is cool.
But Rise of the Robots was the first poster we did.
Okay, it's the very first you did.
Right, because it was, it was that first title that we came up with, and we just this is going to exemplify what we're going to do. And so that was a lot of development time and a lot of different versions.
That right there.
Nope, that's a cocktail shaker.
It's a cocktail
in a later version of
Okay.
this, that he's holding that robot's holding a bottle, but in the original version, it's a cocktail shaker.
Okay.
The weapon of choice for a robotic bartender, for a killer.
Is to make like terrible drinks and throw them at you, because that's pretty funny. I make bad drink, I throw them all full of malort. Oh, that's too funny. That's cool. I do love how she rips this dude's head off. That's very entertaining.
That was the first concept. I said all of the earlier versions of this, no matter what, she had a severed robot head in her hand.
She go bowling with the other robots at that point. Too cool. Was this another like robot
Just
thing?
another severed robot head discarded on the ground.
This is cool. These are samurai robots with their shakers. They're gonna throw at you. It's hysterical.
You're so close.
I do love that. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah. So one of the robots is holding a bottle of Rise of the Robots instead of the shaker.
That's cool. Yes, the nerdiness is amazing.
So Rise of the Robots, we particularly Charlie and I, are very partial to mint forward rise. It's one of the reasons we did the 95.5 mash bill, and we love minty rise. And so,
that is definitely minty as hell.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
So we like mint forward rise.
It's like licking a mint leaf. Must make an amazing cocktail though.
It does.
That's gonna make an awesome old fashioned.
The other member of our blending team, Steve, who I mentioned, he only makes old fashions with rye, and this is what he uses. I'm more of a bourbon guy in my old fashioned, so I use Quadra-Force right now for it because it makes an amazing old fashioned. But Rise of the Robots does as well.
That's cool. Very, very cool. So you have 6 total products out right now, or do you have others that
right now we have 6.
Okay.
In our history, we've made 7. So one of them we're out of. It's our first limited edition. It's called Town at the End of Tomorrow, and it was a Kentucky straight 9-year-old.
Okay.
And one of my favorites, it was a time travel story.
That's cool.
And so we didn't make a lot of it. We made about 600 bottles of it because at the time we were only
super small.
We were only in a handful of states.
Okay, sure.
Right,
sure.
and then and it sold out very, very quickly. We still get people on a weekly basis contacting us and saying, "Where can I find it?"
Now, can we see the story on your guys' website though?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can watch the trailer. You can read the story. You can still download the movie poster. You can't buy the poster. That's the only one we didn't offer the large poster for sale, and we don't have small poster because what happened is it sold out so fast before we had even had a chance to do anything. We were like,
that's too funny,
right? But the good news is it could come back in the future, and it will be a lot older than 9 years.
Very nice.
So there may be more barrels of it.
There might be.
I'll tell you right now. You familiar with Justin's House of Bourbon in Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
So Justin's has the only in the world only single barrel of Town at the End of Tomorrow.
Oh, all right.
Because they when it first came out, they bought it and they sold out of it quickly.
Yeah.
And they asked us, can we do a single barrel of it? And we have a single barrel store pick program of our Moonlight Mayhem extended cut, and that's what we do.
Okay.
And I said no. And then they asked again, and I said no. And they kept asking until I said yes, right? And so last January, I finally said yes.
Okay.
We delivered it to them, I think, in like June.
Okay.
I actually went there and did a bottle signing and
Yeah,
everything for
very
it.
cool.
And I know they still have maybe 50 or 60 bottles left of it.
Okay.
And so they have one of a kind. In fact, the label still says 9 years, but the juice inside is just shy of 11 years. Because I had labels left, and I was like, "Look, I'll do it for you, but I'm not printing new
Yeah, I know.
labels."
Well, yeah, it costs more
Right.
money, absolutely.
And
Don't blame me.
so it's funny. People came to that signing, and they had me sign it, and they had me cross out the 9
Oh,
and write
geez.
10.5 on it.
10.5. Jeez. That's too funny.
Yeah, so that was town at the end of tomorrow. And that was one of my favorite stories as well, because that takes place in the future, about 50, 60 years in the future, when aged bourbon has run out.
Oh,
And this,
no.
of course, has caused riots and violence. And so the government
Probably
steps in,
would.
right? The government steps in and passes the Unbonded Act, which
Okay.
says all bourbon must be sold when it turns 2 years old. And our heroes are a couple of fifth-generation distillers who do not like this. So they
Okay.
turn their distillery into a time machine, travel back to Bardstown in 1800, borrow the aged barrels, and bring them to the future.
Oh my gosh.
So it's sort of a bourbon
That's
heist
funny.
movie, a bourbon time travel heist movie.
It's a wild idea. It's pretty cool. I like that plan. Yeah, that is I don't know how to rye that freaking mint. I mean, good lord. I've had a lot of rye.
What's pretty cool is a lot of people will come up at tastings and be like, "Oh, I don't like rye." I'm like,
Okay.
okay. And then they taste it anyway and they go, "Oh, I
Because it's
like
not
rye."
the spicy black pepper type.
Right. There's a little bit of that in there, but when you lean toward the mint, you end up
Yeah.
with more citrus flavors and almost, it's not a sweet rye. It's not sweet, but relatively speaking, it's more of a sweeter rye. And I think people perceive it that way, especially people who aren't necessarily rye drinkers.
There's a brand of bourbon that has a very minty mash bill. Interested to see if their drinkers enjoy this. I think it'd be very cool to see.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fun. I just can't think when that damn minty.
Yeah. So when we did the original,
So they're just magical barrels, basically.
so
ones you
what
got?
happened, we have a lot of stories about this one
Okay.
in pictures. So we were tasting through our first rye barrels.
Okay.
And these were that first weekend when we ever blended, we were in Kentucky. We flew there from California and we had to taste through. I think we ended up tasting 50 barrels in less than 2 days. At
Damn.
cast strength.
Holy shit.
And then spent the next couple of days doing blends with them. And so we're tasting barrels.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it was intense.
I bet that was. Holy
It was
crap.
intense. But we found this barrel.
Okay.
And Charlie and I had this silly thing as bourbon nerds and hunters
Sure.
and consumers. When we'd be in a rick house and we see a really dirty barrel with, like, it had been,
Oh,
clearly had been
crap's
leaking.
all
and
leaking
we're
out.
like,
Oh, yeah,
that's got to taste great.
Of course.
Right.
That's
And of course,
always the one you want.
scientifically has nothing to do
Absolutely
with
not.
it, right?
That's
we
the correct answer.
So we're in our warehouse with other barrels and we see this barrel just sitting there all by its lonesome and it's
Okay.
dirty as heck, right? And it's covered in that black sticky goo,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And we're like, oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And we were tapping into those barrels all day long and we just whatever. And then when we're sitting there tasting it, we all taste that and trying to look at each other. We don't know it's that barrel yet. And we
Okay.
go, this is a mint bomb. This is so minty. Like,
Interesting.
let's save this in case we ever do single barrels of rye. This has to be a single barrel.
Okay.
And then we figured out it was that dirty barrel,
Oh, that's funny.
right? Which we later all signed our names on and called it Dirty Barrel. And we called it something else, but I can't say it on camera.
Oh, you can. It's an adult show. It's
Right.
fine.
So, and then we're doing our first blend of Rise of the Robots.
Okay.
And we're doing it, and we're looking at each other going, and Steve at this point,
Yeah.
Steve doesn't care about minty rye. Steve loves rye. Steve's a
Okay.
Scotch guy. And he's like, you guys in your mint, fine, whatever. Right. And Charlie and I are like, it's not minty enough. We're doing this blend and we're trying different kinds, and it's not
Holy
minty
shit.
enough. And we look at each other and we're like, do we need to go get the dirty barrel and try it? And we're like, no, we're saving that. We can't put that in. And we're like,
Okay.
look, nothing is more important than our first batch.
Sure.
So
Sure.
let's just put it in, and if it doesn't help, doesn't help. And we put
Okay.
it in, and we're like, oh my gosh, that was it. And so we sacrificed the dirty barrel for our first
For this.
batch of Rise of the Robots, which we're very
Wow.
glad because it won gold
Yeah.
medal and has been very popular.
That is wild.
So Moonlight Mayhem Extended Cut, Rise of the Robots, 94 proof. Our first 3 products launched in September of 2022.
Okay.
in our first two
Okay.
states: California, home of the movies; Kentucky, home of bourbon.
Okay.
It was a year later at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, so now this is the fall of 2023, that we introduced that Town at the End of Tomorrow product, which is no longer available, and our next product, which is Rise of the Robots Extended Cut. So that's our cast strength rye right here. So that's the dark iridescent green label version. Should be on the back of here.
This one. All right. Oh, there we go. Ooh, that's a fun color. Cool. Looks like nuclear waste.
So Rise of the Robots Extended Cut. Very, very, I think you asked me earlier which my favorite was. So when this came out, this was my favorite. It was all of our favorites for a while.
Okay.
And still gets amazing reaction. I mean, we were out in stores in the Dallas area today, and everybody tastes through, and I always leave this for last. I'm like, ooh, I like that.
Cool.
So it's definitely super, super special.
Thank you.
So Rise of the Robots Extended Cut, a 92 in Whiskey Advocate, and a gold medal at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition as well. The batch you're drinking, let's see, is 118 proof. So this is the highest proof this has ever been available in. It ranges anywhere from 108 to 118.
It's the mintiness, but that's got like this nuttiness too. That's in there. Interesting. And it's a 95.5.
The same mash bill, 95.5. Yep. But it's amazing. Like people who are not, heavy fans of bourbon, they're newer bourbon or rye drinkers, and they haven't really learned yet the difference between cask strength and proof down. And look, our regular products are all 94 proof.
Yeah, which is a hell of a place to start.
I remember when that was high proof.
Yeah, 94. Yeah, you're right. Because 94, I mean, God, most of they drop it down to 80. Right. 94 is your bottom proof. Right. I mean, that's a hell of a place to start.
Right, which is exactly, it's expensive to do that.
It is.
Right. But that's where we like it. It's,
it's good. That's what matters.
And when we're blending a new product, we always start at cask strength and work our way down.
Okay.
Right. And to see, because if it happens to be amazing, it's 113, then that's where it's going to be.
Leave it at,
Right. But, we usually get to like 94 and we're like, yeah, that's it. There's something magical for us about that. So far, everything has been 94 proof except for our cask strengths.
That's very cool.
Which vary the rye from 108 to 118 and the bourbon from about, I think, 114 to 119.
Okay. And obviously, everything's non-chill filtered. Just in case people want to know that. I'm sure most of us already know that, but just in case,
non-chill.
Throw that out there. Obviously, the full metal proof.
Yes,
that's awesome. This is so freaking cool, though. Yeah, this is some of the coolest posts I've ever seen for whiskey. These are just freaking awesome. Yeah, these are just it's so freaking cool. All right, so what's your favorite poster?
My favorite poster? I would have, before Moonlight Mayhem White Port, I would have said Rise of the Robots.
Okay.
Right? Because it's the first. And
Sure. Yeah, that poster is freaking. That is a freaking awesome poster. Yeah, that's just really fucking cool.
And this came out of like a lot of just. I cannot tell you how many versions of this I did.
Oh yeah,
right. That looked. Some of them looked like this. Some of them looked nothing like this. They had a male wolf on it. They had all this, and then just all the work that went into this, and then working with Anton, the artist, on it. And it came out so cool. Good, and just so happy with it.
Yeah, it reminds me of my daughter used to watch Monster High. It reminds me of the werewolf in that.
Yeah,
but this is like the coolest freaking poster. I wish they made posters like that still. They just sadly don't.
Yeah, it's very retro.
Oh yeah, totally. Right? Yeah, it's like it hits all the right notes for me. Right. Now, okay, so do you ever take any of your products and blend them together when you're drinking them?
No.
Okay. Just want to know.
Sacrilege? No.
No.
You can drink however you want, but no, I just, you kind of caught me off guard. Nobody's ever asked me that, and I've never even thought to do that.
Well, it's in that class right there. Now. We're about to find out.
I'm going to pass on that.
Oh, I'm going to find out because I want to
know. But no, we all have infinity bottles.
Of
right?
course.
But I never put my stuff into an infinity bottle. But now I'm going to have to, and I'm sure Charlie and Steve are watching. They're going to be like, why didn't we do that? We need to do that.
I just want to see, pour this in Bridget, then put it in there. We want to see what it tastes like, all of them together.
needs to be mixed. And,
Of course it does. It's not anything magic,
The blending team, the guys, they all mock me because I'm all like, no, it has to be stirred. We have to stir it at least 35 times.
That's funny.
So much so that I bought us one of those. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but it's a magnetic plate. And you put the glass on it, and then you drop a little magnet. It looks like a pill, like a capsule.
Okay.
It's magnetic, and you turn it on, and it spins, and it mixes the liquid for it. They're used in science labs, but the big distilleries have them too in their labs as well. And
ooh, that does smell fun. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Well, it's all over the damn place.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's a
fun whiskey.
Bourbon rye white port, weird 4-grain explosion.
Sometimes you just makes magic and throw them all together. Sometimes it tastes like crap.
So, well, I like this idea because now we suggest that everybody should buy at least one bottle of everything we make and then blend it together.
I agree completely. It's a brilliant plan. Plus, you need the different posters, so you got to get those as well. And you have like these guys, you need to collect all of those. It's important to get all of those as well. So I think it's a good collector's edition.
Yeah.
That way you have beautiful artwork on your wall and in your bottle.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right. See, and there's your blend. And everybody, exactly. To get your blend of everyone. Now, so this is and everyone now like we're like some of these characters are like future characters, or everyone in here is in something already in the other bottles.
Let me look. Everybody on here has been on another bottle before, either a featured character or a secondary character. And then, like I said, myself and my team are all hidden in here as well. And we have other labels that we haven't released that I didn't put in here because I didn't want to show them before they were released. Yeah.
Now, are you guys considering like an American single malt at all at some point in time? I know you said you're not huge, but your counterpart is a big Scotch guy, and that's why I wondered if you think about doing something like
Apparently,
that.
we're not securing our Google Workspace well enough. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying we have a completed label for it. I'm not saying it's
in
barrels.
I'm always up for cool new shit.
We have a lot of different ideas and a lot of things, and we have a lot of different barrels that we've never put into bottles for different kinds of stuff.
So you have like all sorts of like finished barrels of God knows what's hanging around. So someday add part of that will make this magical type deal. Perfect. That's what I like to hear. So what's the funkiest, like weirdest barrel you guys have found?
Funkiest, weirdest barrel that we found. I got to think about that. There's something I can't talk about because it's for a future product. So I'm filtering right now, which definitely falls in that category. But look, every once in a while we will find a barrel of bourbon that is the most sour thing you could ever imagine.
Terrible stuff.
And yet we know how to make it work.
Okay.
Right, because it's clearly not going to be a single barrel.
Obviously, right.
But there are times when we'll work on a blend and we're like, whoa, this is way too sweet. And we're like, wait a minute, go grab that stinker, and what if we hit it in to counteract what's going on in there? So we've managed, and then there are some that we found just put it aside. Maybe it'll become a great single barrel one day, but now it doesn't belong in a bottle.
Terrible, Is there anything that's like totally dump out that just did not work?
No, not yet.
That's good. That's a good problem. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah. No, we've never. I mean, but to be fair, there have been barrels that we've rejected multiple times.
Oh, sure.
So they're still they're turning 7 and 8 years old right now.
And there's like
what's going to happen with them, but.
And sometimes, it just takes time. I know even bottles of whiskey we've had opened up. That's like when they first opened, they sucked. And then you give them, sometimes 6 months. I've had somebody take 2 years to go, oh, this is really good now. It just takes a long time depending on the whiskey. Yeah.
I always say that too. Like when I first got into it, I would taste something and go, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, I would end up tasting it again and going, why didn't I like that? Right.
It just isn't good when it opens up.
Besides my palate changing. And
Sure.
Things definitely, they air out, they change a little bit. Or,
absolutely.
Could have been a different batch I ended up tasting the next time.
That could be too. Yeah.
I've had whiskey from other people that I will never drink again, right? I've only dumped out 2 bottles of whiskey in my life. And obviously I'm not going to say who.
Yeah, right, not on here.
Yeah. But I was like, I can't even serve this to my enemies.
I've never dumped anything. I mean, I've got some pretty horrific stuff in here that we've just, for whatever reason, we usually use for like faults and stuff. And it's like, well, you thought this was good, you released this.
And this was when I was before I was in the industry, so I was a consumer. I got a bottle that I thought sounded interesting, and I tasted it, and it was just
terrible.
chemical warfare in my mouth.
Ooh.
And
That's not
but
so
I'm not one to just sit there and accept that. So I emailed the company because I knew the company was owned by it was literally a mom and pop.
Okay.
And I just thought, hey, let me give you some feedback. You didn't ask for it, but
Sure.
here it is.
All right.
And they were super gracious and super nice and said, look,
That's
maybe
cool.
you got a bad bottle. And they mailed me another bottle.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that was, that I'll never forget that.
Sure.
I tried the second bottle. It wasn't great, but it wasn't as harsh as the first one.
All right.
But I appreciated them doing that. It would make me at least try other products they put on the market.
Sure.
Now, I don't know that they ever did again, because I never saw anything from them again.
Okay.
But I appreciate it. And we try and have the same kind of customer service.
Sure.
If anybody has any issue with us, we address it immediately, and we say, look, each their own. But if there's something we can do to make it right, we will.
Yeah, as I know, we do our master classes. We had somebody bring, I want to say it was your extended cut, the Mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
Got it in a blind box, I guess.
Oh yeah, we've been part of some of
so
those.
they did some of those. People were really impressed with that. So that was kind of cool to see people. And it's interesting because she brought it here before. I was like, it tastes totally different than mine. But I think it's also, once again, how long has it been open?
Right.
What's tiles? But it makes a big difference to me. It's how long things have been open for. So. But yeah, this is fun. So what else do people know about Filmland?
Well, we've got a great social media community going on.
Okay.
We have a lot of fun on social media. So we're at Filmland Spirits on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Okay.
And then we also have our mailing list, which is basically, you can sign up at our website. Just every page on our website has a link to sign up for it. But we give out information first there.
Okay.
So before we put it on social media, we're talking about products that are coming, discount codes, all that kind of stuff, special offers, things like that. That goes on our email list. And then eventually we put it on social media before it becomes like a completely public wide. But lot of great folks on social media. And we've been kind of blowing up lately in the sense that, very big whiskey influencers have fallen in love with our stuff, and they're doing a lot of coverage on us.
Awesome. Yeah, so you get full size of these on your website too, so people should definitely.
Yeah, and we have some merchandise. We have tasting glasses, whiskey tasting glasses, and T-shirts like this one.
Oh yes, right. You got that cool T-shirt. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good times. All right. Well, this was fantastic. Lots of cool new stuff tonight, and thoroughly enjoyed this. And we'll definitely have you back here at the castle sometime soon. And
love to be.
We'll see everybody here in a few weeks. Cheers.